Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mark Roden. In today's video, we are going to be going over, we are going to be ranking, all 25 mainline Need for Speed titles from worst to best. We just did this with all the Forza titles. Now today we're going to do it with all the Need for Speed titles. Maybe in the future we'll do it with all the Fast and Furious movies or the Gran Turismo titles or whatever it may be. Now they don't do great in terms of views or whatever, which I kind of figured anyways, so I'm not really too surprised about that. But I kind of like doing them, so I might just do them anyways just because they're kind of fun. It depends on what you guys are thinking, though. If anybody's like, these are the worst ideas I've ever seen in my life, then obviously I won't do them. Movie of the day is Mad Max Fury Road. Such a heater, man. Such an absolute banger. Like, I literally, whenever I'm like really cold out, I just put this movie on, warmed right up because it's that fire. It is literally like, if you have hypothermia, just watch Mad Max Fury Road and you'll be fine. That's not real medical advice, by the way. If you have hypothermia, you should contact a medical professional. But either way, it's a great movie. Go give it a watch. I watched the first Mad Max the other day, like the very first original 1980 one. I know it's a hot take, and I know people are gonna like hate me for saying this because it's like one of the classics, one of the all-time greats. Dude, I hated that movie. I'm just gonna be brilliantly honest, man. That movie was so boring to me. I didn't understand it at all. It was boring. The violence wasn't cool or whatever because it was so old. I was not a fan of that movie. I'm just gonna put it out there. The acting was horrible. Pacing was horrible. Everything about that movie I thought sucked. But Mad Max Fury Road, though, that's a banger. Without further ado, let's go right into it, though, with number 25, my least favorite of every single Need for Speed title. Coming in at the number 25 spot, my least favorite, it's Need for Speed World. Or Need for Speed Online. I'm pretty sure they're the same thing. And the reason why it's here isn't actually because I think it's horrible or whatever. I've never played it. I don't have a PC. Every time I've ever played a Need for Speed game, it's just been on console. So I've quite literally never played Need for Speed World or Need for Speed Online. So I cannot give you my opinions on it. Every single other Need for Speed title I've played. Most of them I've played all the way through. This one I've never played in my entire life. I've only seen gameplay on it. And from what I can tell, it's not even really like a Need for Speed game either. It's like a what's the word I'm looking for? Live service Need for Speed game where it's like constantly updated. It's like Call of Duty, but for like Call of Duty Warzone, but for Need for Speed, which doesn't really make the whole part of Need for Speed that I like is usually the story, and this one doesn't have one, obviously. Coming in at the number 24 spot, however, I have played, unfortunately, because it's going to be going to Need for Speed Nitro. Listen, I will give them credit where credit is due. I'll be the first one to give them credit where credit is due, as a matter of fact. Props to them for trying something new. You know what I mean? Like, they tried something new. They tried to reinvent the wheel. It just did not work, though. The Need for Speed Nitro, absolutely horrible. I hated every single second of this. The story does not exist in this game as well. It is just horrible. I'm just blatantly honest, man. Just horrible. If you like this goofy, cartoony stuff, maybe you'll like it. But honestly, even those guys, I don't think are gonna like this. Like, if you like goofy, cartoony racing games, that's Need for Speed in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, regular Need for Speed games is goofy. It is cartoony. It's like, I don't know. Need for Speed Nitro is just not it. And coming in at number 23 spot, this one, again, makes sense, and I can't really, like, be mad at them. I'm not flaming them for it, but it's Need for Speed No Limits. For those who don't know, Need for Speed No Limits is this game, Need for Speed's mobile game, and it is just like, if you've ever played CSR Racing, which I'm sure you have, it's CSR Racing, but Need for Speed. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's okay. And for a mobile game, it's actually really good for a racing mobile game. I'll give them credit where credit is due. But it's a mobile game at the end of the day, and I'm definitely not looking forward to playing Need for Speed No Limits ever again. I played it for like a month when I was in high school, and it was alright. You know, I would just play it on my free time during study halls or whatever. But nowadays, yeah, I haven't touched this game in years, and it's just boring for a Need for Speed game. And again, this one might make some people angry. As a matter of fact, it's probably going to make a lot of the veterans, the OGs, angry, the true OGs, that is, because we're going to be going with the original Need for Speed for the number 22 spot. The first one, it's literally called Roden Track Presents The Need for Speed, because at the time, the magazine Roden Track is the ones that created the Need for Speed, which is wild to say. But either way, listen, man, I get it. You know, you got to give credit where credit is due. It started it all. It started the franchise. If it wasn't for this game, we wouldn't have Need for Speed. I understand that. But it still sucks, man. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. It's not fun at all. There's like not even. I think there's like 7 cars total. Obviously, the graphics are horrible. Obviously, the physics are horrible. The racing itself is so boring. It's so easy. It's such a boring game. I'm sorry. And coming in at 21st place, yeah, it's not much better, man. We're gonna be going with Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed. Listen, Need for Speed, for those who don't know, back in the day was like the only gaming company in the world allowed to use Need for Speed. They had like, the only gaming company in the world that was allowed to use Porsche models. They had like this weird little agreement with them where they were the only racing video games allowed to use them. And so they really put that to the test with this title and literally made a title where there's only Porsches. If you love Porsches, this is probably one of your favorite Need for Speed titles. For me, I think Porsches are kind of cool, but the whole part about Need for Speed that I think is so cool is the fact that you can have all these different kinds of cars and modify these cars, and Porsche Unleashed just doesn't let you do that. There's like, it's just Porsches. If you like Porsches, cool. But if you don't, not cool. Also, it's one of the older ones, so there's not a lot to do in them. It's not that hard. There's not that much good physics, blah, blah, blah. However, breaking its way into the top 20 here at the number 20 spot, another one of the older ones, I'm sorry, but it's Need for Speed 2, the second Need for Speed title ever. Obviously, this one improved on the first one. The graphics are better, the physics are better. There's more cars by, like, I think 2. I think there's quite literally, like, 2 more cars, but, hey, there's more, you know what I mean? So that's fair. There's more tracks. And yeah, it's just overall just better. You know what I mean? It's just better than the original Need for Speed in every single way. Again, OGs might disagree with me on that just because they're nostalgia. They have the nostalgia motors going on right now, but it's the truth, man. Here's the first one where I think it might actually ruffle some feathers. I think every other one up until now, most people are going to understand where I'm coming from and be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But coming in at the number 19 spot is Need for Speed 2015. It's the reboot, but for some reason it's called just Need for Speed. Don't know why they did that. But either way, man, it's a disappointing one. It's a disappointing one. When you watch videos of it online, you're probably like, what do you mean? Because it looks beautiful, and the vibe of this game is unlike any other vibe of any Need for Speed game, period. Like, if we were ranking them based on, like, the vibes of the world, this one wins, easily. But the actual gameplay is so stale and so boring after literally just 1 hour of playing it that you never want to touch it again, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. But yeah, Need for Speed 2015 absolutely sucks. Also, I should have mentioned this in the intro, but I'm going to mention it now. It's pretty self-explanatory, I know, but some people might be like, what? This is obviously all personal opinion, so please don't get upset. If you're a big fan of Need for Speed 2015, power to you, man. I hope you're having a great time playing it. That's awesome. You know what I mean? They have a blast. But for me personally, I'm just not. Coming in at the number 18 spot, another one of the classics, another one of the OGs, Need for Speed High Stakes. Hey, listen, in terms of the OGs, this is definitely one of the better ones. Okay, it came right after Hot Pursuit, Need for Speed 3, Hot Pursuit, and I personally, it kept the cops, which is, you know, very good, very smart decision there. But it's not this. It doesn't have the same vibe. It doesn't have the same wow factor as the original Hot Pursuit does, in my opinion. I just think this game. Here's the best way I could put it. I just think there are better versions of this game in the Need for Speed franchise. Like the number 17 spot, as a matter of fact, Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit. Yeah, another one of the OGs. I know people that are genuine, like, veterans are probably so mad at me right now, punching the air, because all the 90s Need for Speed games are down here at the bottom of my list. But listen, man, I'm a 2000s kid. I was born in 2000. I like the more modern stuff. Okay, I'm trying. This is my personal opinion. I want to make it abundantly clear. Actually, I started my Need for Speed, like my first ever Need for Speed game was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. And so whenever I played any of these old ones, I had to go back and play them like years after they came out, and years after I've already played some of the best Need for Speed titles in the franchise, in my opinion. So I think that's the reason why they just don't hold up to me, and I didn't have any nostalgia going into them. I was just going into it with an unbiased look, and unbiasedly, I don't think these games are that great. They just don't hold up. They're just not entertaining in 2025, in my opinion. Coming in at 16th place is probably a lot higher than most Need for Speed enthusiasts thought it would be, because it's like the most hated title, but I don't understand where all that hate comes from, man. I think it's, I trust me, I don't think it's good. It's here at the number 16 spot, but like, it's still fun. Need for Speed Undercover. Need for Speed Undercover, the story is lackluster, I'll give you that. The graphics are weird because it has this like weird piss yellow filter on it. And the biggest downside to Need for Speed Undercover is the physics. The physics in this game feels so janky and weird. It doesn't feel like, and that's Need for Speed in a nutshell, don't get me wrong. I understand Need for Speed isn't supposed to feel like a simulation game. But this game, it's almost unpredictable when you're driving the car around, like what the car is going to do. But the game does have customization. It does have pretty cool cars. And I actually do kind of like the progression in this game. So I think it's better than people give it credit for. 15th place was, so my first ever Need for Speed title, like I said, was Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. But my reboot back into the series was this one. 15th place, Need for Speed Payback. I took a very long break after Most Wanted 2012 came out and didn't buy the new titles on release from a Need for Speed game until Need for Speed Payback came out. I was super excited to play it, and I was super disappointed when I actually got it. It's not horrible, don't get me wrong, and if you like customizing cars, which is what most people play for Need for Speed for, you'll get it here. You know what I mean? There's plenty of customization here, but the whole like supply drop system, first of all, is horrible. I hate desert areas in racing games. I'm just gonna put it out there, man. I hate it. I love jungle areas like in Forza Horizon 4. I love city areas in racing games, but desert areas suck. And a lot of Need for Speed Payback's map is desert, which is just feels empty and boring to look at and depressing. I'm just not a fan of Need for Speed Payback. It's a disappointing game. Coming in at the number 14 spot, however, this is like officially the breaking point. You know what I mean? This is a point where it's like every Need for Speed from here on out, I will have fun playing it. You know, like I'll enjoy it, and I will, you know, I want to play it. Thinking about it makes me want to play it a little bit. Because 14th place is Need for Speed The Run. It's not horrible, but I just think it's the story itself. It's just a little boring. I kind of understand what they were trying to go for here. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, I don't think it really worked for a Need for Speed title. It's weird. I think it's a weird story because I think it would have worked if like another video game company did it, but Need for Speed just, like if Forza did this like story, I think it would have been great. But Need for Speed, I just don't think really nailed it. Here's another one of the ones that you guys probably thought was going to be a whole lot lower, but I actually think this one's really overhated just because of the name. I really wish they didn't name it this, because it's Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012, the newer Need for Speed Most Wanted. I just wish they named it something else, because if they named it something else, I guarantee people would look at this with a lot better remembrance. A lot better memory of it. I don't know what I'm looking for here, but since they named it Most Wanted, people were expecting it to be like the original Most Wanted, which fair enough, you know what I mean? Like, you're naming it Most Wanted, you expect it to be like almost like a reboot of that series, and it was nothing like that. The only thing that was kind of similar was the Blacklist, but the Blacklist was nowhere near as important to the game as it was in 2005. It was just a step down from the Most Wanted 2005 game in every single way, and the progression in this game was by far the worst that the series has ever had, since you can literally find a supercar on the side of the road and get in it for completely free at the very start of the game, 10 minutes into the game. It's so bad. Coming in at 12th place, it's going to Need for Speed Rivals. Need for Speed Rivals is one of the only always online Need for Speed games. For those who don't know, it is. I don't think the servers are shut down yet, but they might be. But in the future, what that means is when the servers get shut down, this is the only game in Need for Speed's entire runtime where it's not going to be possible to play it anymore. It might not be possible to play it now, actually, as a matter of fact, which is really stupid, first of all. But the actual gameplay itself, I just think it's a big step down from Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2010. I really do. I think it's like it's pretty much the same game as that, if I'm being honest, but with an open world. And the open world is not an open world. I'm just going to put it out there, man. It's just like, it's just the racetracks that you would race on just connected together and you could drive on it. It's not cool, in my opinion. Coming in at the number 11 spot, by the Who Nanny. I just wanted to put this out there before I forget. I have a YouTube channel I just created. It's going to be in the comment section down below. I'll be leaving a comment with it, where I'll be uploading any sort of Mark Roden playing random video games in the future. So if you're interested in watching me play some Need for Speed titles maybe in the future, go check it out. You know what I mean? Go check it out. Nothing's uploaded there, but in the future, maybe. Coming in at the number 11 spot, though, barely missing out in the top 10. I know, it's hot take territory here. Need for Speed Underground 2. Need for Speed Underground 2, man. Everybody says it's the best title. If it's not Most Wanted, they say it's Underground 2. I don't think so. I just don't. I just never understood the hype behind Underground 2, man. I just never did. I played it back when it was first, popular, and I was like, this is fine, and I immediately went back to Underground, or Most Wanted, or Carbon. I love those games significantly more than Underground 2. The world itself feels very, weird. The color palette of the game is very weird, and then on top of all that, the car customization, in my opinion, is horrible in this game. It just looks so bad and so racer, which is Need for Speed, sure, in the early 2000s, I get that, but this was just a little too much. However, breaking its way into the top 10, I feel like every entry from here on out is above Underground 2 now, so I feel like everyone's just going to judge me for it. But hey, man, it's my list. I know it's a hot take, but it's my list, and I'm not going to sit here and lie for internet views and be like, yeah, Underground 2 is my favorite Need for Speed. No, man, I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's my favorite, all right? Number 10 is Need for Speed Shift. I love Need for Speed Shift, which is, I know, a hot take. Again, I think it's great. I love what they did for Need for Speed Shift, and obviously we haven't seen Shift 2 yet, and so yeah, I liked that game too. First of all, the car destruction in this game is incredible. The sense of speed in this game is incredible. Driving first person in this game is incredible, especially when you take into consideration the time this game was made too. I think it was like 2010 or 2009 maybe even, when Need for Speed Shift came out, and its graphics still hold up today. It was such a fun game, man. I loved Need for Speed Shift. Obviously it wasn't as good as Gran Turismo. It wasn't a full simulation game. It was a wannabe simulation game, but obviously with Need for Speed physics and stuff, and I think it was freaking fun. However, coming in at the number 9 spot is a little bit of an underrated one, in my opinion. I feel like nobody ever talks about this one anymore, and I don't know why. Need for Speed ProStreet. Need for Speed ProStreet is it's like Forza Horizon before Forza Horizon was a thing. And it's really well done. It's like you're racing at a music festival, obviously, with a bunch of cool cars or whatever, but it's also sanctioned, but it's kind of like, it's like grassroots almost. It's weird. It's almost like, what's that grid life. It's like a grid life event or something in this world, and it's so much fun though. The game is so much freaking fun. Ryan Cooper is an absolute OG. We all love him. It's such a good game, and you start with that S13 too, which is what made me love S13s. I think Need for Speed ProStreet is great. Yeah, man, I like the game. I know. Coming in at 8th place, it's Need for Speed Unbound. I know everybody else hates it. I know they do. Everybody freaking hates Need for Speed Unbound. They say it's one of the worst Need for Speeds of all time. I don't think so. I really don't think so, man. I kind of enjoy it. I think, yeah, I hate the whole anime crazy stupid stuff in the game as well. Don't get me wrong. I think that's stupid. How much they like glaze ASAP Rocky is just weird. It's like, dude, no one cares that much about ASAP Rocky, dude. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I like his music too, but I do not need to hear from him every 2 seconds in the freaking game. I thought it was kind of weird. But the car customization is awesome. The racing is really fun. The world itself is super fun. The amount of cars are fun. I love it. I love it a lot. And it fixed the main problem in Need for Speed 2015 where the story didn't feel like it mattered. Unbound feels like the story matters a little bit. And on top of all of that, you can have unlimited cars. In 2015, you could only have 5, which is a horrible idea. I thought Unbound is a really good game, and I hope they keep going in this direction. Just get rid of the whole wanting to be hip thing. I mean, that's kind of, again, this Need for Speed, they always kind of like had like a how do you do, fellow kids vibe behind them, but it's a little goofy in Unbound. Coming in at 7th place, though, absolutely no story here pretty much whatsoever. The story behind Need for Speed Underground is quite literally just like, I want to be the best racer in my city. I want to have my car featured in magazines. But the vibe is just, I mean, it's literally like the Fast and Furious Need for Speed game, period. Like, if you want that Fast and Furious vibe in your Need for Speed game, which, let's be real, that's what put Need for Speed into the spotlight was Fast and Furious. Need for Speed Underground absolutely nailed it, especially for its freaking time. Like, yeah, it's not open world like Need for Speed Underground 2 is, but it doesn't need to be. This game is so much fun. There is some downsides, don't get me wrong. Like, the rubber banding in this game is absolutely ridiculous. The cars can catch up to you from like 7 miles back in 0.2 seconds. It's like they actually turn on like jet boosters with like freaking R888s. I don't Toyo Proxy R888s on. They will absolutely do the most insane maneuvers to get up to you, which is a little annoying. But the rest of the game, oh, it's so much fun, man. If you haven't played Need for Speed Underground, I highly recommend going and play it. Here she is. Yeah, you guys are probably like, where did Shift 2 go? I thought it would be right after Shift. No, I like this one a lot better. It's coming in at the number 6 spot is Need for Speed Shift 2 Unleashed. I think they just improved on the original Need for Speed Shift. That's all there is to it, and by quite a bit. The graphics are better, the physics are better, the damage is better, the customization is better, the car list is better. The story is even better somehow. It's a really fun freaking game. And I already liked Shift. Shift 2 Unleashed is just even better. I don't really have much else to say about it that I didn't already say when I was talking about Need for Speed Shift, so let's just move on. See, I like some of the OGs. It's probably just because I started on this, so I have a nostalgia value to it, but coming in at the number 5 spot is my first ever Need for Speed I ever played in my entire life, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. I do say that, you know, it's probably just my nostalgia talking and everything like that, but I have gone back and played every Need for Speed game since I was an adult. Like, a couple years ago, I went back and did it. I played every single game in order and finished them all. And no, man, I loved Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 when I went back and played it. I think it's still an incredible game. I think it's so much fun. The police in this game are great. Yes, it's an older game, so there are still some weird things about it, like the physics and the graphics are definitely going to be a little bit lackluster. The car list isn't great or whatever. There's no customization in it, which is obviously what Need for Speed built its platform on at this point. But it's so much freaking fun, dude. And it has like the perfect era of cars too, like the late 90s, early 2000s cars. It's just perfect. Coming in at the number 4 spot, however, here she is. There she blows. It's Need for Speed Carbon. Need for Speed Carbon is gosh darn incredible. There's just one big downside that I think about. Like, every time I think about Need for Speed Carbon, I just can't help myself but be like, oh, I really wish they didn't do that. The music. Need for Speed Underground, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Need for Speed Underground 2. Those games had some absolutely incredible like rap and hip hop music. Need for Speed Carbon, on the other hand, it went for like this weird techno vibe. It's like every song is just like this weird like dubstep-y kind of song. And I personally would much rather have listened to like the I Rock. That song was a banger. There's another song in Need for Speed Most Wanted that's an absolute banger. There are so many songs in the old Need for Speed titles that are bangers. 24s in Underground. Like, there are just so many good ones. And then this game's music was just a big letdown compared to the other ones around it. But it's still incredible. Number 4, I mean, it's everything else about the game is incredible. Just the music, I think, was a little bit disappointing. Coming in at 3rd place, however, bronze medal, easily the best modern Need for Speed title, not a second down in my mind. I consider the modern titles anywhere from Need for Speed 2015 and up, by the way. So like Need for Speed 2015, Payback, Heat, which is this game, and Unbound are the oh, is that it? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, yeah. Need for Speed Heat is easily the best in my opinion. Need for Speed Heat is so good. It is so freaking good, and everybody like hates it just because it's a modern game with like modern cars and stuff, but it has the classic cars that we all grew and love as well, and then now it just has modern customization. Need for Speed Heat is freaking incredible. Yes, the day and night cycle is a little weird. I just like everybody else, I kind of just wish that it was just like police could chase you whenever or whatever, but I understand what they were going for with it because it makes sense in the game, you know what I mean? Like it makes sense the way they made it work. But damn, is it a fun freaking game, man. I could get lost in Need for Speed Unbound any day, or Need for Speed Heat, my bad, any day of the freaking week. It is such a good game. I think you guys should all give it a try if you haven't. If you're like me, where you're like, you love all the older Need for Speed titles, so you're worried that the new ones don't work, trust me, just trust me on this. This one's good, and the story is cool too. Like the story actually gets you into it. I love it. Need for Speed Heat is so good. Coming in at second place, however, I would say this one's like the best of like the middle era. You know how like you got like the eras of Need for Speed titles. You got like the beginning, the OGs, which would be anywhere from the Need for Speed 1 all the way up to Hot Pursuit 2, I would say. And I think the best of that era is Hot Pursuit 2. And then you got like the golden era, the one that everybody loves, Underground, all the way up to like I would say like ProStreet probably. And I would say the best of that one is the one we haven't talked about yet, so I don't want to spoil that. And then you got like the like forgettable era, the like dying era, the forgotten era. And of the forgotten era, I think Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and Hot Pursuit Remastered is easily the best, and it's not even close. The reboot to the Hot Pursuit series absolutely worked and was better, in my opinion, than the OG Hot Pursuit games. Being able to race as a police car is not anything new to the Hot Pursuit series, but the amount of upgrades and the amount of police cars you could choose from, the amount of cars in general you could choose from, the graphics were incredible, the handling was incredible, the damage was incredible. It had like that burnout takedown feeling to it whenever you would take somebody out. It was so good, man. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the reboot of the Hot Pursuit series, is, in my opinion, the second best Need for Speed title ever. I could get lost in this game over and over and over again and never get bored of it. It is so much fun. But first place, obviously my favorite Need for Speed title of all time, but also my favorite of the golden era Need for Speed titles. It's Need for Speed Most Wanted, the 2005 Most Wanted, the OG Most Wanted. Easily. I mean, obviously, what did you expect? It's just that good. It is incredible. Everything about Need for Speed Most Wanted is great. Easily the best story in the game. Obviously not the best customization, but it depends on what kind of customization you're into. At the time it was, you know what I mean? Like at the time this was what was cool, that those types of customization is what was cool. And obviously times have changed, so yeah, it doesn't hold up today in terms of customization, but at the time it was great. The car list at the time was great. 30 something cars for the early 2000s that all had completely different customization and body kits and stuff like that for it was awesome. The world itself was incredible. The police chases are unlike anything we've ever had in any Need for Speed title or any racing game for that matter ever again. Like Need for Speed Most Wanted, the OG's police chases, I could literally do one for 2 hours long, get busted at the end of it, and still be like, that was so much fun, and not get like mad and not feel like it's a chore. Like that's the problem with like modern Need for Speed titles and getting in police chases. It feels like you're just doing it because you have to progress the game, but in Most Wanted you just got into them naturally and just had fun running away from the police. The pursuit breakers were awesome, and all that could be like thrown to the side though if it wasn't for the freaking story. The story is so good. The blacklist, I genuinely, bottom of my heart, man, like dead anus, have never in my entire lifetime played another racing game that had as good a story as Need for Speed Most Wanted. Never. There's not a single other racing game in the entire world that I've played that has a better story than Need for Speed Most Wanted, unless you count like GTA 5, because GTA Online has a lot of big racing community to it. Then that's obviously fine, that one counts. But besides that, Need for Speed Most Wanted is the best story of all time. It is so well done. It makes you hate every single blacklist member you're going against, while also like fearing them, and oh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it. But ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of today's video ranking all 25 Need for Speed titles from worst to best. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Let me know what other videos I'd see in the comment section down below. Check the links in the description for any of my other social medias or any of my other YouTube channels or any of that great mumbo jumbo. And yeah, guys, like I said, if you guys are enjoying these series, I will probably rank all the Gran Turismo titles and rank all the Fast and Furious movies anyways, just because I kind of want to. But hopefully somebody's enjoying them, and hopefully somebody wants to see them. Somebody said that about in the Forza video, somebody said they wanted to see the Need for Speed ranking, and so I was like, I was going to do it anyways, but that gives me a reason to, so there we go. So hopefully somebody's interested in watching these, because I love making them. I think they're really fun. I know they're video games, and this is a car channel, but they're racing games, okay? I mean, most of us have probably played them at one point or another, or at least heard of them, or you know what I mean? So I thought they were worthy. I also kind of want to eventually like do For those who don't know, I kind of like rebooted the whole What Makes It Great series that we used to do on the channel, because the views were always great on that, and I loved making them. I was always so proud. As a matter of fact, they were like the only like series of videos that I've always been like proud to make, besides like my vlogs or like car reviews or stuff. Those ones I'm always happy and excited to upload. But my top 10s, I almost just do those kind of like a chore at this point. And so I don't know, I was always really proud to make the What Makes It Great. It's the only, and it paid really well. That series is literally what made me be able to do YouTube full time, and so I always wanted to get back into it. But the problem was I'm a lazy sack beep, and it takes forever to make those videos. And What Makes It Great videos take forever. But I finally was like, dude, what are you doing? You know, don't you want to retire your father? And was like, let's lock in. And so I started making the What Makes It Greats again, and you guys are loving them again, just like I knew would happen. I knew they would happen, but I was just stupid. And so I decided to, you know, make them again. And so would you guys be interested in seeing me do What Makes It Greats on like pieces of car media as well? Like, so I could do like a What Makes Need for Speed 2005, or Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, my bad, so great, or the first Fast and Furious, or blah blah blah. Let me just know. Let me know if you guys are interested in that, if you think that would be a good idea. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Did you guys like my intro today too, by the way? I kept the intro nice and short. It was only like a minute long. I'm gonna try and do all my rambling and stuff at the end of my videos, or if I have any sort of like disclaimer to make or whatever, instead of just rambling them all off in the beginning of the video, I'll just kind of like trickle them in throughout the video. That way it doesn't take up so much time in the beginning, and it only takes up like maybe 10 or 20 seconds in the middle of the videos. So that was what I was doing today, like with the whole like, this is all personal opinion. I mentioned that like halfway through the video, just so that it didn't take up time in the intro. I thought it was a good idea, and it seems like it worked out. So I hope you guys are good with that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Das Vidanya, and have a nice night.